Third graders, my name is Mr. Wallace. I'm the person in the planetarium at Forest View Middle School. Some of you have been there before. You might recognize me from your kindergarten visit a couple of years ago. But I am coming to you today from my home, and all of you are at your home as well. But we're doing what we can to still educate you about things that are happening around us. And today, I would like to show you something that is going to be happening here in the next couple of weeks, something that is extraordinary, something that hasn't happened for hundreds of years. It's something that you can see in the sky that is going to just absolutely be marvelous and extraordinary. Something that even people like Galileo didn't get a chance to see. Something that scientists like Einstein didn't get to experience in their lifetime. But if you look in the right place at the right time, you're going to see this event. Now, this event is called a planetary conjunction. You may have heard something about it on the news in the past few days, but this is going to be happening on December 21st. Not sure when you're going to be seeing this video, but it's going to be coming up soon nevertheless. So what I would like to do is show you what's happening, why it's happening, and even though you're not in the planetarium, at least we can still connect here a little bit and talk to you about astronomy. And maybe by the end of the year, if things turn around, maybe by the end of this school year, you'll have a chance to visit the planetarium. So I'm going to shrink this little inset of myself here, and I want to show you. I want to show you. Well, let's make this even a little bit smaller here. Move it off to the side. I would like to show you something called stellarium. Now, stellarium, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's written right here, Stellarium, and it's something that you can download onto your computer. It's totally free. It's been around a long time. It's very easy to use. It's basically a planetarium in your computer, and it allows you to look at the night sky on your screen as as you might do in the planetarium. It's very accurate. You can set it to your location. You can set it to your time, anything you would like to do. And you can actually go out into space and take a look at planets or comets or anything else that you might be able to find. It is an amazing little program. And like I said, it's totally free. I'm recording this on the 10th. But what I have set up here is a sunset. Here is south. That's what the S stands for, southwest right here. You may notice that the sun is setting very low in our sky, very far to the south, and it's quite opposite than it did back in June during our summer months. But we are approaching something called our winter solstice. We are approaching that winter solstice on the 21st, and that is the day that the sun will set its furthest south that it will all year long. And then after the 21st, it starts to move its way back to the north. Okay, and so the reason I mention this is because on the 21st, this planetary conjunction is happening between Saturn and Jupiter. Now, a conjunction means things come close to each other. And I want you to realize that, Saturn and Jupiter are very far from each other, but from our perspective here on planet Earth, they are going to almost touch in our sky. Almost. Not quite. You'll still be able to see a little bit of space between them, but the distance between them in our sky is going to be less than it's been for 800 years. Okay, and so that's the extraordinary thing about it, the fact that it hasn't happened for so long, and it's not going to happen again for another 60 years, and even then it won't be as close as what it's going to be here on the 21st. So let me kind of go ahead in time here a little bit. And you can see here, this is 24-hour time here, not 12-hour time. So what I'm going to do, and you can see this is 1542. And so if I move that to 1642, that would be just after sunset. Sunset's around 4:30 right now. 16 would be the hour 4 p.m. 42 would be 42 minutes after that. So this would be 4:42. Like I said, the sun is setting in our sky, and let's move ahead a little bit, kind of a minute at a time here. On your screen, you can see that Jupiter and Saturn are appearing. If you look in that direction, even now, the day that you see this, the next clear night, go out and take a look. Jupiter is much brighter. It's about 12 times brighter than Saturn, but you will see them very clearly in that southwestern part of the sky. And as I go a little bit further into darkness here, they still show up very nicely. Now, again, this is December 10th, and you can see some separation here between the two planets. Keep in mind that Saturn is over 400 million miles further away than Jupiter. 400 million miles beyond where Jupiter is. And so even though they appear very close in our sky, we can't perceive that depth. And it's hundreds of millions of miles to get from Jupiter to Saturn, even if you were to go in a straight line. December 10th, and let me just go ahead and kind of click away at the days. Now watch, as I go to the 11th, they get a little bit closer, a little closer, a little closer. And you notice they are going a little bit further close to the horizon as well. And that's just because every day Earth's orbit continues around the sun, and when we look at those two planets, they are a little bit closer to our horizon at this same time. So I'm still here. We're at 1725, so that would be 5:25 on the 15th, and they're getting extremely close. Now watch. Here comes the moon on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and look how close they are now. And 20th and 21st. This is the night that they are going to appear closest in our sky. And as you can tell, if it happens to be cloudy, I hope it isn't on the 21st, but if it happens to be cloudy, you can see them very close to each other on the 20th or the 22nd, or a few days on either side of it. But the really fun thing is that on the 21st, this is when they are going to be closest. And this is, again, during our winter solstice evening. Now, with stellarium, we can also zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to show you, and on this screen, as I zoom in, you can see that separation. Now, you can also see some bright dots right here next to Jupiter. Those are the Galilean moons, the ones that are brightest around Jupiter. And you can see all four of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can also see Saturn out here in the background. Now, if you have a telescope, or even if you have binoculars, the really cool thing is if you go out on the 21st and point your binoculars or telescope at Jupiter, you will also be able to see Saturn in the background. With the unaided eye, you should still be able to see some separation. It turns out that it's only, and let's see if I can get this on the screen here, if you hold up your pinky is 1 degree of the sky. The separation between Jupiter and Saturn is only 1/10 of your pinky. So if you take your pinky and kind of divide it up into 10 pieces like a fraction, and hold it out at arm's length, that separation is going to be very, very fine, about 1/10 the width of your pinky. Okay, but get out there with your binoculars and take a look, because it's going to be absolutely extraordinary to be able to see this in your lifetime, and I hope that you get a chance to do that. Okay, so that is what it will look like. Now, I'm going to show you one other quick program here. This is called Solar System Scope. Solar System Scope is also a free program to use on the internet. Now, my picture disappears here because it takes over the screen. But Solar System Scope is free to use. It's solarsystemscope.com. Now, I purchased the desktop version, which was about $10, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't need to use internet access to show this. And this is a really, really powerful model of our solar system. Now, I just want to show you why we are going to see what we're going to see with Jupiter and Saturn. As I tilt our solar system here, you know that the sun is the biggest, brightest thing, most massive thing in our solar system, and that the planets orbit that star. But when I tilt this over, and if you look off in the direction of Jupiter and Saturn right here, you'll notice that they look like they're basically running into each other. And that's our view from Earth. Now, this is not a scale model. The Earth is not this big compared to the sun. But it does allow us to see the positioning of these two planets. And that's why they appear very close together in our sky. As we spin around on planet Earth and we spin over here to the dark side, right in this area here, when it starts to get dark, the sun is over here to the west if we were to actually fly down to the surface. And then if I tilt it this way and you can imagine standing right here and looking off in that direction, that's why you see them as close as you do. Now watch, I can take Earth. Now this, again, this model is really cool. So I can take Earth and just start to move it, and you can see our moon orbiting our planet. You can see Mercury and Venus orbiting much faster than Earth, and all kinds of things. The asteroid belt is out there. And see the separation now between Jupiter and Saturn? If you go out next summer and see them in the sky, Jupiter will be to the left of Saturn. Jupiter's orbit isn't as big, isn't as long, so it's going to basically pass Saturn in the sky. Okay, and again, this is solar system scope. There's some really cool things you can play around with on this program. There's lots of different settings over here. You can change the date. As you can see, I've sped us all the way up to February of 2022, but just by taking planet Earth and moving it. And so many different things. You can actually visit the surface of the planets using this. It's all web-based. You can run it right from your web browser. And oh, it also allows you to see the sky from the surface of the Earth. But I think using that stellarium is even more powerful, this program right here, than the solar system scope. It has more detail. It allows you to do some more things, and I think the user interface is a lot easier to use over here. And if I was going to suggest one, I would suggest the Stellarium program to look at the night sky. But that solar system scope is just a great solar system model and allows you to see what's going on in our solar system. Okay, third graders, well, I hope that helps you visualize and lets you know what's going to happen in our sky. I sure hope that you can come to the planetarium sometime soon. Let's cross our fingers with that. And if nothing else, in a couple more years, you'll be a fifth grader. And when you get to Forest View as a fifth grader, you will definitely spend some time in the planetarium with your science classes. So that's about it. And again, I hope you get a chance to get out and see this planetary conjunction. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And don't miss it. It's your only chance to see it this way in your lifetime. So have a great day. Take care, kids. Hope to see you in school sometime soon.